How the five managers Tottenham failed to land ahead of Nuno have fared. Just months after completing an agonizingly long search for a new boss, Tottenham are set to do it all over again. Nuno Espirito Santo was only appointed back at the end of June, but was ruthlessly axed on Monday morning after just 4 months at the helm. And after Daniel Levy was left embarrassed following a number of high-profile snubs in the summer, he's been left red-faced again following Spurs' shot-shy record under Nuno, despite Levy insisting before the appointment that the club's next manager would help Spurs get back to their exciting, attacking DNA. The former Wolves boss always looked a bizarre fit for Levy's very public demand. Although Levy shouldn't, and hasn't, escaped criticism for Tottenham's woes, it is worth bearing in mind that Nuno was far from Levy's first choice. But where next for Spurs as they seek another new boss? Antonio Conte's name has cropped up again already, whilst a Mirror understands that Paulo Fonseca is very much back in the frame for the job that he came close to clinching in the summer. Here, Mirror Football takes a look at the 5 managers who turned them down in the summer and what they're up to now. Have your say. Who should replace Nuno as Spurs boss? Comment below. It feels like Spurs really started to unravel as soon as Levy decided to dispose of Pochettino back in 2019. The Argentine did a remarkable job during his 5-year stay in North London, building an exciting, high-octane young side that took Spurs all the way to their first-ever Champions League final in the months before his departure. Ultimately though, Pochettino paid the price for Spurs standing still and failing to build on that success, even though Pochettino himself warned Levy it was inevitable. Since his departure, Pochettino has broken his trophy duck at Paris Saint-Germain, where he's been tasked with winning Europe's grandest prize this term. After finally realizing his mistake, Levy made a desperate attempt to lure Pochettino back to the club this summer, only for that to be thwarted by PSG. It remains to be seen if Levy will make another play for Pochettino in the wake of Nuno's departure, but striking an agreement is likely to be even more difficult now. Former Roma boss Fonseca has been a man in demand this summer. After narrowly missing out on the Tottenham job in the summer, Fonseca has heavily linked with the Newcastle job following their £305 million takeover last month. But despite reportedly impressing in an interview, the Magpies still haven't plumped for Fonseca, and they could now miss out on the Portuguese coach. As exclusively revealed by the Mirror, Fonseca is very much back in the frame for the Spurs job following Nuno's early exit. A deal to bring the 48-year-old to London was all but done in the summer before Spurs reneged on the deal. With Fonseca still available, there could be one final twist in the saga that would ultimately see the former Shakhtar Donetsk chief finally end up in the Spurs dugout. The prospective deal to appoint Gattuso as Spurs boss came completely out of left field back in the summer. All reports suggested that Fonseca to Tottenham was a done deal before Fabio Paratici instigated a move for the volatile former AC Milan boss. Tottenham's new director of football had earmarked the Italian as the perfect man-manager to instill some fight back into the side. However, the move soon hit the buffers anyway due to fan unrest over derogatory comments that Gattuso had made in the past. But despite Levy listening to fans on that occasion, it's not necessarily a lock that Gattuso won't wind up in the Premier League. He's been linked heavily with the vacant Newcastle job in recent days, with reports suggesting that a high-profile name is being targeted by the new Toon hierarchy. Gattuso would certainly fit that bill. Brighton boss Potter is arguably the perfect fit for the current remit at Tottenham. After their fall from grace over the past couple of years, it's become abundantly clear that restoring Spurs to their former glory is going to be a long-term project. And there's not a manager better suited to weave his magic in North London right now than Potter, who has transformed Brighton into an entertaining, expansive side during his 2.5-year spell on the Sussex coast. Potter has already proven his credentials in the Premier League and undoubtedly has the scope to improve further. Given Brighton's traditional standings, it would be a brave appointment from Levy. But is Potter's current standing and reputation at Brighton much different from Pochettino's back when Spurs swooped for him at Southampton? The similarities are uncanny, and Levy should bear that in mind before passing on Potter whilst he ponders his next move. It's impossible to dispute that Conte is by far the most successful candidate currently available on the market. The Italian has tasted domestic success at Juventus, Chelsea, and Inter Milan, and you wouldn't bet against him adding to that trophy haul in the long run if he was to be handed the reins at Tottenham. Whether or not Levy and Paratici can persuade him to come to London remains unclear. Reports have indicated that he is the club's primary choice, and speculation is certainly growing that a deal is in the works following Nuno's dismissal on Monday morning. Although Conte is an elite manager, he'll be under no illusions over the size of the task that would be before him should he take the job. There's not going to be a quick fix at Tottenham, no matter who takes charge, and that could put Conte off just as it did in the summer.